Hare Krishna. I can do a year's work in 9 months, but not in 12. J.P. Morgan. This counterintuitive statement points to a fundamental functional human reality. Normally we think that if the more time I have, the more work I'll be able to do. Just like if there is a machine, the machine processes some data. And the more time the machine is available, the more data will get processed. In some ways, we are like machines. Our body is like a machine. But in many ways, we are not. We are conscious beings. And as conscious beings, we are made in such a way that we need breaks. Suppose we had a machine which needed to be turned off every day for 6 to 8 hours. Suppose we had a machine, if we had a robo, which needed to be shut down for 1 or 2 days a week. Suppose we had a robo which needed to be given a complete off for a week or two every 6 months. Maybe a month every year. Such a lousy machine. But that is how a human being is. We as human beings are not creatures who can function continuously. We function throughout the day, and at night we need rest. Without adequate amount of rest, we cannot function. Our mind starts going haywire and we start making terrible mistakes. For example, in airplane industry, pilots often have to travel at whatever time the flights are, so their sleep times may not be regulated. But in between flights, they are expected to have a certain amount of time. Otherwise, if they nod off while they are flying, it can cause havoc not just for themselves but for hundreds, thousands of passengers. So, we as human beings need rest. Now, we may say, why could nature have not made us like machines, where we could do more and more work? Because we are meant for a purpose higher than doing work. We are at our core spiritual beings, and as spiritual beings, our purpose is to rise to a spiritual level of consciousness. And this happens when we alternate engagement in the world with withdrawal from the world. So this cycle of engagement and withdrawal is what brings renewal. We become refreshed, we become rejuvenated, we become energized. And traditionally, if we consider all the cultures in the world, all the civilizations in the world, they have a concept of a holiday. There is a time when we take a break from the routine of our life. And again, traditionally, the holiday was meant to be a holy day. That is the time when not just we withdraw from the engagements of the world, but we draw towards God, towards our supreme spiritual source. There are different things which can rejuvenate us, but nothing can rejuvenate us as powerfully, as transformationally, as the connection with the source of all power. Now God, Krishna, He is like a irreplenishable, He is an inexhaustible energy source. And when we connect with Him, and connect is not a mechanical connection, it is a devotional connection. When we connect with Him in a mood of devotion, in a mood of prayer, in a mood of meditation, then that connection rejuvenates us. The Bhagavad Gita tells that we need to be regulated materially and we need to be connected spiritually. In the 6th chapter, 17, 18 verses, it talks about how whatever material activities we are doing, We have our work, we have our eating, we have our worldly profession. All those need to be regulated. And not too much, not too little. And along with that, we need to be spiritually connected. And there is this balance of material connection and material regulation and spiritual connection. Then there is optimum satisfaction and contribution. There is nowadays one of the most glamorized forms of addictions is workaholism. Now, other forms of addictions, alcoholism or taking drugs, these are looked down upon. They are understood as dangerous. But workaholism is often glamorized. Oh, you work so hard, you've never taken a leave in your entire uh, career till now. Amazing. People are praised. Yes, of course, there is the importance of diligence, of consistency, of hard work. And there are times when some urgent deadlines are there to be met and we need to stretch ourselves and work very hard. But we have our human needs. And when we become workaholics, then we may excel at our work, but we fail in our life because we get consumed by one aspect of life and we neglect other aspects. By such neglect of the other aspects of life, we get lost. We get consumed by a lopsided vision of life. So when we bring spiritual understanding to our life, when we see ourselves spiritually, when we see ourselves our ultimate goal spiritually, then we can bring balance. So rather than thinking that, oh, if I just work for more time, I will do better, I will do more work, we have to understand that our work depends not just on the amount of time that we put in the work, but also the quality of thought that we are able to put in the work. If we just continuously keep working, we get mentally tired. Our thoughts get distracted. And if we have a process by which we calm, clarify, and focus our thoughts, then that can help us to work better. And not just work better in terms of quantity of what work we do, but work better in terms of the purpose for which we work. We'll not only make better contribution, but through the work done in a spiritual consciousness, work done in a mood of service to the whole of whom we are parts, we will also experience greater satisfaction. And thus, by the combination of material regulation and spiritual connection, we can optimize both our satisfaction and our contribution. Thank you. Hare Krishna.